football has been eventful in Norman, the University of Oklahoma, from new hires to commitments to country music stars. And now I'm going to tell you the 10 things we learned from spring football.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time here, or you've been watching the videos for a while and you just haven't got around to it, consider hitting the subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Alright, so the first thing we learned from spring football is that we miss you, Baker. Yes, we knew we would. Yes, Kyler Murray and Austin Kendall are fine. Yes, I emailed the NCAA to find out if there was a way that we could pay Baker professionally to be our all-time quarterback. NCAA, check your email. Check the spam. Check the spam. The second thing we learned is that the corners can cover. Trey Norwood, Parnell Motley, Trey Brown. Miguel Edwards had the only pick during the spring game. We're more than fine. The corners are going to buoy the secondary in a way that we haven't seen in a very long time. I'm excited to see Trey Brown push for that starting position alongside Jordan Parker, who looks healthy enough to compete over the summer and into fall camp. The third thing we learned is Buki is that dude. Buki Radley-Hiles was hyped as a high school player, he's hyped as an early enrollee, and he proved the hype was real during the spring game. He was all over the place, had a pretty amazing pass breakup against Grant Crocatera in the spring game. If you don't know Brendan Radley-Hiles' name, you do now. Watch number 44. He's going to be the breakout freshman next year. The fourth thing we learned is Mike Stoops watches the videos. Because we barely saw a three-man front during the entire spring game. I'm not prepared to say a tiger changes its stripes, and I'm not prepared to say that Mike Stoops did this willingly. However, I saw what you saw, which was 4 men, sometimes 5 men on the line of scrimmage, and when Mike didn't have Ronnie Perkins and Addison Gums dropping back into coverage, the jack linebackers and the defensive ends looked good going after quarterbacks. The fifth thing we learned is Oklahoma fans are tougher than you are. A school record 52,102 Sooners fans packed into Owen Field on a cold, windy, miserable afternoon to watch a glorified scrimmage. All I'm saying is, in a bar fight, you better pick the Sooner.
We too deep.
The sixth thing we learned is Hollywood will ghost you in pads.
Not Usain Bolt, but Nick Armbruster.
Oh, come on, Nick.
It was a race for about 5 feet.
Now, for me, the best part of watching Marquise Brown in that 50-yard sprint was that he didn't come up pulling a hammy. And then the second best part was watching him suck up this poor student and then coast the last 5 yards because he had it put away. The seventh thing we learned is Kenneth Mann and Addison Gums are money. Now, I know a lot of folks will have something to say about Mark Jackson at the jack linebacker spot and graduate transfer from Notre Dame, Jay Hayes at the defensive end spot, but my money is on Kenneth Mann and Addison Gums to start against FAU. When Mike wasn't having them drop back into coverage, they looked great coming off the edge. The eighth thing we learned is Trace Atkins got paid $115,000 for a 45-minute concert, and I don't even care. Because see number 9. The ninth thing we learned was this is probably the best recruiting weekend in Oklahoma Sooners history. If you haven't watched Recruiting Oklahoma Sooners, the movie, it's a movie I made about Friday the 13th, which kickstarted the best recruiting weekend we've ever had, where the Sooners jumped from number 12 in the Rivals rankings to number 1 in 24 hours, picked up a total of 7 commitments over the weekend, including graduate transfer Jay Hayes, 2 5-star commitments at wide receiver, a commitment at defensive tackle, and a commitment at safety, to go along with 2020 running back commit Jalen Knighton and 1 still yet to be identified commit at the time of the making of this video.
We too deep.
Now we know that the groundwork was laid for this weekend by Lincoln Riley and his staff. Shout out to Annie Hansen, who is the executive director of recruiting for OU. She and her staff did a bang-up job. But what we know is Oklahoma is a Class A program and was able to put that on display this weekend. The 10th and final thing we learned is there will never be a home game at OU on a Thursday night. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. This is a fire that athletic director Joe Constiglione has had to put out for years now. And when SB Nation put forth that they thought that the FAU game should be moved to Thursday night, Joe C. was loud and authoritative when he put that down. He said, we won't and we can't. Plus, this is the first season in more than a decade when OU has 7 home games on the schedule. We're not about to give one of those to a weekday. Alright, that's it for me. If you like the videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. Deuces.